Okay, so if you are wondering where's the sketching process, well, I did not record the sketching process. Why didn't I record the sketching process? Well, honestly, it's a mystery. Even I don't know why I didn't do it. I forgot to do it. My second question must be, what is that red thing? Like, why did I start with that red color in my painting? Well, that is what you call an underpainting or an undertone. What's the point of an undertone? Well, the point of an undertone is for it to peek through your painting. And what I'm doing right now is stupid. This is not how you paint with an undertone. Like, I am literally painting the whole thing with an opaque color. This is not what you want to do. I am going to realize my mistake and I'm going to fix it. This completely defeats the point of an undertone. So an underpainting is basically a painting that you paint under your painting. That sounds stupid, I know. But if you have seen oil painters paint, you must have seen this happening, right? They first paint their canvas with a red or a yellow tone, and then they build their colors on top of that tone. Now, why do they do that? Well, because you do not want to paint on a white canvas. Why do you not want to paint on a white canvas? Well, because what does white do? White desaturates your colors, and you don't want your color to desaturate. You want your colors to look bright and vibrant, right? For that, you paint your canvas with a color that's bright and vibrant, like red or yellow. Okay, so does your underpainting have to be red or yellow? No, it doesn't have to be red or yellow. Like if I were painting a night scene and I want the lighting to look cool too, I would paint my undertone with blue, so it peeks through and it makes my painting look cooler. Okay, so once I've done with my underpainting, I will use a kind of brush that has some texture to it, and I will make sure that the brush opacity is turned on, and I will dabble, I don't think that's the word I want to use, but I will paint it in a way that it doesn't completely take over the red. What I mean to say is I want the red to peek through the painting that I am making. So I will make sure to not press too hard with my pen and allow the thread to peek through the colors that I am applying on top of it. And my process is very simple. I first create a base of colors and paint the big shapes first, like the skin, the hair, the clothing, and then I build my lighting on top of it. Now I am going to borrow the lighting directly from the reference, and the reference has this cool light with the warm shadows. Overall, the look is pretty warm, so I want to maintain that. Now, how do I make that cool lighting? What I'm going to do is use a method called glazing. So what exactly is glazing? Well, basically what I'm going to do is I want a cool light, right? I want a light that looks cool. So I select a color that is cool, which is blue, and then I use the pressure opacity of my brush to lightly glaze on that light. Now, why do I do that? Why don't I just select the colors directly and paint with that? Well, because it's difficult to guess the colors sometimes. And I think glazing works really well for these kind of things. So basically, I want my light to move towards blue, but I don't want it to be blue. So I will select blue and glaze it very lightly. It will move the color slightly towards yellow. If you look on my color slide, you will see that my lighting is still around that orange. It's not moving towards blue. I did choose blue at first for my lighting, but it is not moving completely towards blue because that is what the effect of glazing is. Now, one thing I'm pretty disappointed in this painting is the hair. I honestly think the hair didn't come out as well as I wanted it to, because the hair in my painting looks pretty full, while the hair in the reference has a lot of depth. Like you can see a lot of depth in the hair. There are a lot of gaps in the hair. There are hair that's coming towards you, so you feel the depth of the hair. But that doesn't happen in my painting, and I wish I could do that, but sometimes your paintings won't always look the way you want it to, which honestly is most of the time. If you're an artist, you are gonna be disappointed with most of your paintings, because you have a vision, but that vision doesn't come true. I think that's just what happens being an artist, right? You are gonna be disappointed most of the time. And another thing that I absolutely hate about this painting is the clothing. Now that I look at this, I really don't like the way I have created the clothes. The textures, the lighting, the lines that I have created, it absolutely looks horrendous. I absolutely hate it. But whatever, it happens. Like I said, you are not gonna like every painting you make. But overall, I do not dislike this painting. This is a side profile of a person, and honestly, I love painting side profiles. Why? Well, because this is easy. Side profiles, I think, are the easiest to draw as a portrait. It's very easy to get the proportions right, and it's also easy to get the lighting right. That's why I just love painting side profiles. The worst kind of portraits has to be where you are just looking straight to the face. I honestly do not find portraits from the straight view as interesting, but I still do paint it. I think that's the painting that I'm making in the next one. Okay, so this was the first painting. I am kind of satisfied with it. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the next painting, and as you can see, portrait is a straight profile. We are looking kind of straight to the person, but I still chose this reference because I thought that the overall design and the look of this portrait is quite cool. I really like the aesthetic, so I chose this reference. Now my sketching process is quite simple. I first draw a circle. I always start my portraits with a circle, and then I draw some guidelines. The midline is like the middle of the brow and the eye, and the bottom line is for the nose, and another line is for the chin. And I will always suggest that you use some kind of guide. You don't have to use a circle. You can use whatever you want, like a square, a box, like whatever works for you, but just choose a guide, and practice it a lot. Like, get so used to it that it becomes a second nature for you, because I honestly believe that is the best way of improving at portraits or any kind of drawing. Just find your process and repeat it a lot. And this particular sketch ended up taking me around 30 minutes. Now, you might think that 30 minutes is a long time for a sketch, or you might think that 30 minutes is quite fast. Whatever it is, I would like to tell you that it does not matter. If you draw slow or draw fast, it's always comparative, right? You see mostly people on internet, right? These professional artists that draw a sketch in like 5 minutes, and you think like, if you want to be called a good artist, then you must also draw a portrait in 5 minutes. But you don't have to do that, Everybody has their own pace, so don't worry about being fast. Just worry about being satisfied with what you're doing. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I draw my sketch until I am satisfied with it. I try to tackle all the proportion issues very early in the sketching phase, so that I don't have to struggle with proportions later when I'm painting. And another reason I take so much time on my sketching is because I like drawing. I am a painter, but I honestly love the process of drawing. And I think if you wish to become a better painter, then you have to become a better drawer first. Drawer. Is it even a word? I don't know. And now I'm starting my painting process, and again I'm using kind of a red color for my undertone. This time I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted my painting to have more textures to it, so I went with a textured brush and painted in a lot of these textured marks, because I wanted these marks to be at the end of the painting, in the final results. I don't think I ended up getting it, because like I said, if you're an artist, you are not going to be satisfied most of the time, and that's exactly what happens to me. And now that I'm looking at this painting right now, does anybody else think that she looks like Goku? Because she has that clothing orange and blue. Now for the painting part, it's again very simple. I establish my base color, then I establish my shadows. Now if you see, the shadows are pretty light right now. I'm not going dark with the shadows for now. I want to keep them light. I want to build my shadows, and I think that's a good approach to painting, building your shadows instead of making them completely dark from the beginning. And again, I use more textured brushes to create more textures. And now this is a part where I'm just gonna paint. The first part of painting, any painting, is basically just to put down the colors and the values. You want to get the colors and the values right first. You do not think about making your painting look more refined. Right now you want to think about just getting the colors and the values on the canvas. And that's what I'm doing right now. So let me fast forward it a little bit and get to the next part of the painting. Okay, so this is the part where I am using a much thinner brush to create the lining on the turban. It's the turban, I think this is called a turban, right? Or head wrap, whatever it is. It's basically to make things a little more clear. And I will also make the hair a little bit more detailed. It's not really detailed, it's just making things a little more clear. Now once I'm done with all that, I'm going to smudge my colors around a little bit, especially around the face. I want to smudge the face and remove a little bit of detail. I want to remove all the hard edges, so that later when I'm detailing, I can bring back those hard edges and make the face the focus of my painting. Basically the way I'm painting right now is basically putting in the colors, making the shape, and then refining it so that it looks like a person, and then refining it even more to make it look like a finished painting. Now I am starting to detail. When I'm creating details, I like to use the lasso tool because it is one of my favorite tools in Photoshop. It is very helpful at creating details. For me, details most of the time means hard edges. For example, right now you can look at that nose and it looks so soft, right? You can't really see anything. Later, I will go on with the lasso tool and make the nose look a little sharper. The edges of the nose, I will make them look a little sharper, just like I did with the chin. the jaw. I did not really do much with the jaw. I just selected around the jaw with the lasso tool and used a soft round brush to create that dark shadow, that dark area, and it automatically looks like detailed, right? That's exactly what I'm going to do to the whole face now, to the whole painting. And that is how I normally create my paintings. Honestly, this is a bit more experimental because I don't do this much texture, and honestly, all this texture didn't really come through. This is not what I really wanted. I wanted a bit more texture to come through at the end, but they didn't come through, and that's okay. But like I said, the life of an artist is that of a disappointment. You are gonna be disappointed at your art, at yourself, that you could not do what you wanted to do, and that's completely okay. And yeah, all that's left for now is finishing the painting. Okay, so these are the 3 paintings that I made. Now you must be wondering, 3, where is the video for the 3rd one? Well, for some reason I did not record the 3rd one. I painted it first, but I did not record it. Why didn't I record it? I don't know. Again, sometimes it just happens. You forget to record. And yeah, this was it. I hope you found this helpful. Then like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.